Welcome back.
What's up, y'all? Let's Koup.
Let's Koup.
I think that was a little corny, but that's welcome back to the show.
Let's Koup.
We talking about love, y'all. We talking about love.
Are you really in love? Pero like really.
Like, are you really in love?
What is that?
What do you mean? What is love? Like, what is love? What kind of love? Love is like, there's love. There's love.
What's the point of getting married?
There's a lot of reasons why people get married.
Okay.
Save money on taxes, help raise your kids, build a dynasty and legacy, and also, yeah, you love the person that you're with and you want to spend the rest of your life with this person. But I feel like there's so much more to, like, not just I want to spend the rest of my life with this person. I want to grow with this person. I want to build with this person. I just want to do life with them. And I guess a big part of that is being in love with them, loving them. We could talk about the ways, the different kinds of love, which is the familial love, which is what you have for your family, the romantic love, which is that we have that
what we have. Platonic, with friends, mutual trust and care.
Platonic, that's what your friends, and then what else? And then self-love, which is what you have for yourself. Compassionate love, that's what you have for people, and you just love. That comes with a little empathy, I think. Being compassionate for others, and those are the 5 kinds of love.
We're going to talk about romantic love today.
We're talking about romantic love.
I'll say this. Romantic love is very interesting to think about. It's kind of a privilege to have. And I think we've overstimulated the idea of romanticizing love. Because remember, in our traditional, the traditions where they came from, podcasts that we did, we can link it up above. For you to go watch it, but a lot of times love, it was just kind of a transaction, the marriage part of it. So now, as it's developed, I think sometimes we lean one side or the other, where it's either like, this is just what it is, and then the other side is like, I feel all the things and I just want to be with the person I feel. And I feel like a long-term commitment, love kind of relationship is built on marrying both of them. Of like, there's determination and a decision made that I'm committed to you through the good and the bad. And then the other side of it is like, I actually really like you.
Right. So, I mean, a lot of people, when you ask, are you in love with this person? And they'll be like, yeah, and some people say, yeah, I love this person. Oh, I love her, or I love him. And, they just sort of like leave it at that. I mean, a lot of people believe in love at first sight. Where you met somebody and you just think that, that's the one right there.
I think he fell in love at first sight. I fell in love at 8th sight, but on our first date.
8th sight?
Well, I don't know how many times I saw you.
Yeah, I mean, I saw her at church.
I fell in love at first date.
I saw her at church one day, and she was like on stage, and I was like
singing in the choir.
I was like, it's a weird it's a weird phenomenon. We don't know if it's real. We'll tackle that in an episode of Relationship Mythbusters, where we're gonna talk about is love at first sight real? And yeah, I don't know if that. Listen, when I first saw her, I was like, yo, that's the one. And you just sort of have a feeling. So I know it's real because I've experienced how it's real. Like, that's a real feeling. She obviously she's feeling herself right now, like, a lot.
I feel like at the time you didn't fully know for sure if that's what you were feeling, right?
You kind of like feel like, man, that's like there's almost a spiritual connection, like that's the person, whether you met them in another life, whether they're like a soulmate, whether they're like, I mean, I don't know how many different, reasons you might have for it, but I know you see someone or you meet someone, you're like, wow, like I want to be with you forever. And it's a sort of a spiritual, outside of, you just know, you just kind of know that's the one. Anyway, she didn't feel the same. So we, that was
But at first date, I sure did.
3 years later, she finally said we can go on a date, and then now we're here. There's a lot of people who think they're in love and they don't know exactly what love is, because I just found out today, and I didn't even know, we did some research, that there are like different kinds of love
within the romantic.
Right. So we're talking about romantic love today. So we did some research. There's this dude who did a paper on the at the American Psychological Association, the APA. His name is Robert Sternberg, and he talked about the triangular theory of love. He used that as a good method to measure, the kind of love that you share or that you have for your person. And I thought it was very, very interesting. So the triangular theory of love has 3 parts, right? There's intimacy part, which means
the connection, the vulnerability between the two.
Right, the connection and the trust and vulnerability, being able to like share secrets and connection. Deep, it's like a deep emotional connection. And then there's the passion, which is, that's physical attraction, arousal and all that. And then there's commitment. That's like, are you committed to this person? And
the decision and the determination.
The determination, what you're willing to
stay committed.
Right. So all 3 of those, depending on the amount that you have for them, will determine the kind of love that you have.
So sometimes a relationship has more passion, more this, and then less commitment, etc.
So there's 5 of them. So the first one we could talk about is consummate love, right? That's everything. That's the one you want to have because it has
equal balanced passion, commitment, intimacy.
It has all 3.
Mutual.
I mean, some days it's mutual, some days it's not as mutual, but
overall it's a mutual situation. As
long as it has all 3, right? You're both committed, you're both passionate about each other, physically and emotionally. You're both intimate. You share deep emotional connection with each other, and it's all good. And you want that. That's what we all want. We want that to be the beginning, the middle, and the end.
Most people want that. Yes, most of the world wants this kind of love, I think. Yes.
Right. So then the second one is romantic love. That's what?
High passion. High intimacy.
A lot of intimacy.
Lack of commitment.
There's no commitment. Usually, so those are like, you could think about relationships that, in the beginning, they're like, oh my God, they're like so amazing. And then sort of the commitment sort of like fades away.
Yeah. I've let some of those linger more than they should in my life.
Yeah. Don't let them linger. So yeah, those are like the people that you can, it's very, the passion and intimacy is there.
The passion makes it hard to not make it linger, but yeah.
Right. Some people get whipped. P-whipped. I can't, okay. I'm trying to keep this, it's a word for that too. All right. I'm not 13. PG-8, rated R. Anyway, third one. You want to say that word?
Companionate love.
Companionate.
We're
gonna stay with that.
I'm gonna stick with that.
And that's a lot of intimacy and commitment, but no passion.
Unfortunately, I think I don't.
Intimacy. You can tell. You see some relationships and they look like they're not having that much fun. So we talked about the romantic love where the commitment sort of fades a little bit. This one, the passion sort of fades. So, I mean, a lot of people those are like long-term relationships. A lot of people will do things to sort of like conjure up.
Keep the spark.
Yeah, keep the spark. Let's go to a retreat. Let's go do certain things to sort of get the spark back.
It's a different experience for women and men if the woman is not feeling that spark. And of course, I'm sure I'll learn much more in the marriage.
Oh my God.
But, okay, next is fatuous love.
Fatuous. Fatuous love.
Fatuous
So
love.
that's passion and commitment, no intimacy. But that's kind of a weird
That's a weird combination.
passion and commitment.
Infatuated with somebody.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. And you sort of like the idea of them. But I
feel like that's...
You're sort of like, there's like something I like that, but there's like a blockage.
I feel like this one has a lot more to do with the person individually. Because if they're...
Which person?
Whoever, both of them individually. If there's a lack of intimacy, there's something going on where one or both of them are not being fully honest about
relationships based on infatuation or impulsive decisions. So yeah, I mean, yeah. And
you can be committed to somebody and not be honest with them.
Right.
So that's unfortunate.
Right. And then the last one is empty love. But where that's a lot of like older relationships. You have the commitment, but no passion, no intimacy, and you're just sort of like
you're just there mostly because you decided, because you're really committed.
You decided till death do us part. Hey man, you deal with each other. You committed.
That's right.
I mean, but can you regain some of the passion? Can you regain?
Sure, if both parties are putting in that work. I think all of this, you can bring everything up to that consummate love. But that's the work that's required, because there's so many reasons, for example, why the passion would go down or the intimacy would go down. Lack of trust, lack of, whatever. There's a million reasons why. So that's the point, is like all of it is I've always heard people say relationships are work, marriages are work, which I fully agree. I think there's a negative connotation to that of like, oh, it's work. But okay,
it's good work.
Really quickly, the same idea as your physical job, if you're doing something that you love and you decide, I'm going to create my own business based on my gifts and the things that I want to offer the world, it is work, but what is it? It's part of your vision. It's part of something that you want to do, something that gets you up in the morning. I think the same kind of applies here, where it's like, if you decide to love somebody, is it work? Like you're going to a job that you hate? Or is it work like, no, this is my vision. Of course I'm going to put work into it because I want to, and it doesn't feel like that heavy workload.
I mean, it can get to that place.
Right.
That's where the commitment jumps in.
Right.
There's a bit of commitment.
I'm not saying it's easy
passion.
and it doesn't
There's a passion.
feel...
That's intimacy.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
But you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like the heart behind it is different. And I feel like I've just always experienced when people tell me about marriage and relationships, they're like, ugh, it's work. And I'm like,
really?
I don't even want to say it that way. I don't want to say it with that kind of
marriage, relationships is work, but it's good work.
So we'll see, and
we'll see what?
We'll see how to apply all of these things to continue with the consummate love.
Listen, here's the thing. I mean, we don't know. Nobody knows, right? But now at least we know what love is. We know the 5 different kinds of love. So if you see somebody and he's like, man, that's the one, it might not be the consummate love. It might be the romantic love, right? It's like intimacy and passion. There's intimacy there and passion. Like, oh man, she's beautiful, right? Oh man, I want to like share things with her and I want to, but like, do you want to like stay with and be with that person like forever? You know what I'm saying? Are you committed to that person? I feel
like for me, I've experienced a lot of like romantic situations where I'm like infatuated with people, where I thought it was love, but then when I met you, when I met him, everything changed. I just felt like I could see like, wait a minute. I have all of the feelings, but the feelings for me, if I could like visualize it, it felt like they were sitting on top of this foundation of like, but I can very much see my life with this person. I would want him to be a father to my children. And obviously that more developed as we started dating, but on that first initial date,
Now you know what love is.
There's so many factors to love, so we only covered a little bit of it. But
Yeah. Make sure you like, subscribe, share this with people. If you have any,
we'll link down our references below, and
if you have any questions, put in the comments. If you have anything you want to add, put in the comments. Hey man, we just like, we trying to do this thing. We try to live this life just like everybody else. So, write some stuff and let us know, your thoughts and all that. And share this with people. Thanks for joining us.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us. Peace.